Hey everyone, I'm Bill Miller, CEO of the American Gaming Association, and welcome to Cards on the Table, where I get an opportunity to talk with gaming industry's top leaders about the challenges and successes they've faced and what the path forward looks like in the gaming industry. Our guest today is someone I've had the privilege of working closely with in his role as chairman of the AGA. Trevor Croker is the CEO and managing director of Aristocrat Technologies and brings extensive experience having worked across Aristocrat's Class 3, Class 2, and digital businesses in a variety of roles over the past 10 years. Welcome, Trevor. We're happy to have you on Cards on the Table.
Thanks, Bill. It's great to be here. I look forward to having a chat to you.
Well, great. So let's get right into it then. Tell us a little bit about the business. We're all going through this struggle right now. You've got to have seen, some of the real terrible pieces, but also some of the really inspirational. So, let's start with that.
Yeah, thanks, Bill. It has been an interesting time for the whole industry and the whole world, I guess, in that context. Aristocrats, 6,000 odd employee organisation. We're about 60 years old, and we found ourselves literally in days going from working in offices to everyone working from home, which was a big shift for an organisation, any organisation, but to see that happen over a number of days. The pandemic has definitely changed our focus through this period of time. It's really come back to some very important fundamental principles for us as a company. The first thing was around health and safety and well-being of our employees, then our customers, and also making sure that we continue to focus on the operations of the organisation so that we can help lead the industry out of this time during this change. All of that led to a number of decisions and priorities for an organisation, which I'm sure everybody around the gaming industry has had to make over this period of time. And it's been difficult, but it's also been important as we think about how and what we want to be as an industry as we come out of this period of time. So it's certainly been an eye-opening experience, but I do get a lot of confidence from the way that our industry is rebounding and feel very confident about where we're heading in the future.
Yeah, no, I mean, you make some great points there. I think in my time here at the AGA and again, having the opportunity to work with you as closely as we do, I am really inspired by kind of the resilience of the industry, that this is an industry of tough people. And we are continuing to kind of pull our way out through the rubble and get out onto the other side. And so hearing you say that is more of an affirmation of that.
I've just been impressed by the industry as a whole. I mean, the industry has really set great standards here, whether it's around the health and safety of their players, whether it's around looking after the communities in which they participate in. I've just been impressed by the way the industry is pulled together, and nobody plans for a pandemic, and no industry or anyone could have thought of what we're going through at the moment was predictable. But to see the way that our industry is pulled together, looked after its people, looked after its communities, pulled together to work through the solutions, and to be honest with you, it's been great to have the American Gaming Association there to help the industry rebound so well. And I think it's been a great time for us all.
Well, so it's sometimes it's a little bit easier to kind of see on the frontline numbers, when there are no sports, what sports books are going to look like, right? They can be creative, but they can't create sports. And then operators and casinos, if they're shuttered, we know that people can't come in. In the supplier manufacturer, the business that you are in, it's a little bit harder to see what that looks like from the outsider's perspective. So give us a little bit of an insight into what does it look like at Aristocrat from, I'll call it May 12th to today.
Yeah,
March 12th till today.
Yeah, March 12th, that's right. It comes back to, the world travels so quickly. It comes back to a couple of priorities. First of all, we came back to our people, and for the last 7 months, we've focused on our people and making sure people first. So that was as much around the way that we helped them transition through work to home, the way that we supported them through working from home, including well-being and mental health applications and solutions for them as well. So they were the key focuses. The second part was our customers, and that was really about helping them, in some cases, shut, but also more importantly, helping them reopen and making sure that we're able to be there to support them with their various initiatives and processes as they went to reopen, and continuing to support that. The third part was our operations, and through all these changes, we, like every organisation, had to make some tough decisions, but we were fortunate because of the position of Aristocrat that through that period we didn't have to furlough or reduce any of our D&D or our design and development people that make the great games, because we believe games and cabinets and investment will actually be one of the success stories of the industry, how it comes back out of this period of time. And then finally, we had our supply chain, and you talk about a manufacturer's point of view. Supply chains in manufacturing have been under pressure for a year or so with various trade wars and various other things being implied. Our supply chain team were very quick to respond to that and been able to make sure that we've been able to provide product to our customers when they want it during this time. So it's been a dynamic and fluid situation, but we really thought about it in those 3 or 4 buckets to make sure that we were ready and prepared to respond.
Looking across kind of the U.S. marketplace, I think there's been the conventional thought, and I think we see it, and that is that, people, as they are getting more comfortable in this environment, are more comfortable doing things locally, and that as they are more comfortable moving around locally, then if they have stronger confidence, if you will, to travel, then those other markets that are more destination oriented will follow suit. Is that your experience, and is that what you're seeing as across the Aristocrat?
Yeah, we've seen that. We've seen the strength in the regional markets for sure. That's been the strength coming back early days as the regional and tribal properties. I do think as confidence continues to rebuild with mass transportation, the ability to move to sports bars, obviously the opening up of sports and other activities is all confidence building towards consumers being more comfortable travelling and therefore opening up to those broader markets. And we hope to see all those markets starting to come back online over this next period of time as consumer confidence continues to build.
Trevor, so we've had a bit of a chat about regionals and how the industry is coming back. Talk a little bit about Vegas. This is the epicenter of the gaming world, and critically important for it to come back and come back strongly.
Yeah, you're right, Bill, and that is important. Like you said, critical. I think the way I think about it is the way that Vegas came back post the global financial crisis, and we saw lots of investment post that period by the operators, which has created a wonderful destination for Vegas. And I think the responsible approach that the operators are taking on the Strip, a way they're thinking about safety, the way they're thinking about responsiveness to manage this is a real credit to those industry leaders. And it's going to take a little bit of time, as we spoke earlier, about people getting confidence to jump on planes, but that is building every day, in my opinion, and it will continue to build over time. And I think that the responsibility that the operators are showing and the confidence they're building with their players is an important part of doing that every day. I think from our perspective and other manufacturers, which all of us have a pretty large footprint in Nevada and certainly in Las Vegas, is we've got to keep thinking about innovation and thinking about what are those solutions that our customers want, and what's the innovation that they're seeking to help them through this period of time. So it's important that all of us, and particularly from my perspective, Aristocrat, is spending time innovating and thinking about what those solutions need to be. And that leads to jobs, it leads to confidence. And, it's important that we're putting back into the communities in which we operate and supporting those communities. And, we've done a lot of that with Aristocrat. We've, as I said earlier, we didn't furlough any of our D&D teams. We've put together relief funds. We've put together thank you payments to our employees to support them, because it's strong communities and also an important part of our industry as well. And we need to do our part in that perspective.
As we look at what we were able to accomplish in getting gaming treated the same as everyone else in all across all of the affected industries across America, for the first time ever, that this industry is now seen differently. Tell me, what does that make you feel as a CEO representing the gaming industry?
It's very important what the AGA has done through this period of time, but I think it's also a sign of the strength of the industry, is that the businesses, our regional businesses and customers are the backbone of a lot of communities and provide infrastructure support and provide jobs and investment. And I think that's been important because the AGA has ensured at the Congress level, and certainly on the Hill that our industry is recognised for its contribution to the economy and to local communities. And that gives us a lot of confidence because as a company, we want to continue to invest, whether it's around putting new studios in new cities, whether it's building manufacturing plants in new areas. These are the things that we want to have the confidence about. And I think the AGA and the industry has done a very good job through this period of time of making sure that the voice of our industry is heard on the Hill.
Well, Trevor, thank you so much for coming on today, and I'll wish you and Aristocrat well.
Thank you, Bill, and thank you to you and your team that have worked tirelessly through this period of time. I think it's been a great effort, and we really appreciate your contribution to what you've done to the industry and to the team at the AGA. Thank you very much.